Throughout history, the act of having children has been seen as both a natural duty and a source of joy. Yet, if the world is plagued by poverty, war, and social injustice, is it always a responsible choice? If a child is born into suffering, into hunger, abuse, or a life without opportunity, can we say their existence is a gift? Or have they been condemned before they even take their first breath? Do parents bear moral responsibility for the fate of the children they bring into the world? This thought-provoking question challenges us to reflect on the ethical implications of procreation. Is the desire to have children an act of love? Or can it sometimes be an act of selfishness? Should people consider not just their own wishes, but also the future that awaits their offspring? In a world where some children inherit privilege while others inherit pain, is bringing a life into existence always justifiable? Let's explore this dilemma through the following conversation.
You ever feel like we're born in the wrong era? I watched an old martial arts film last night. It made me wish I lived in ancient China. You know, wandering through mountains with a sword, righting wrongs like a true hero.
Sounds romantic, but are you sure you'd be the hero? Most people back then weren't warriors. If your family had 2 sons, one would probably get drafted into forced labor or the military.
Wait, what kind of military?
Like being sent to harsh borderlands with barely any food or medicine. No choice, no voice. Sometimes you'd be a servant, a war casualty, a concubine, or worse. Life was brutal, especially if you were born poor. Glory was rare. Most people were pawns, not players.
That's grim. So you're saying most lives back then were meaningless?
Not meaningless, but painful. Many people never even questioned it. They just endured. And yet, their parents still had kids. Maybe out of hope, or maybe out of pressure. But shouldn't the decision to bring a child into the world require more thought than that?
You're suggesting that having kids might be immoral?
In some cases, yes. Imagine being born just to suffer. If you can't ensure a child at least has a shot at a decent life, maybe it's better not to bring them here at all.
But isn't that too cynical? Life has value just by existing, doesn't it?
Does it? Think about a child born on the streets of Mumbai, digging through trash for food. Or a girl in a brothel in Cambodia, sold before she turns 12. Are they supposed to be grateful just to be alive?
But what about those inspirational quotes? Born poor is not your fault, but dying poor is?
That sounds catchy, but it's not universally true. It assumes a system where success is possible. In North Korea, you can be brilliant and still rot in poverty because your birth class defines your future. It's like playing chess without pieces. You've already lost before the game starts.
Still, some people rise above it. Look at Elon Musk. He wasn't born with everything.
True, but Elon Musk is the lottery ticket. Most people aren't. Now think of a child raised by a father who's violent, alcoholic, gambling away whatever little money they have, and a mother who suffers in silence, too broken to protect her kids. That child doesn't grow up dreaming of rockets. They grow up praying they won't get beaten tonight.
Oprah Winfrey went through hell and still became who she is. Isn't that proof that resilience matters?
Sure, and I admire her. But stories like hers are rare. For every Oprah, there are millions who die young, forgotten. Children forced into labor in Congo to mine cobalt for your smartphone battery. Girls trafficked across borders. Orphans in war zones. These aren't just sob stories. They're everyday lives for millions. And they didn't choose it. And sometimes, it's not just poverty, it's apathy. Take Venezuela. Years of corruption, economic collapse, and indifference from those in power have led to a nation where parents can't even feed their kids. Or look at the children in Gaza. When Hamas launched a surprise attack on Israeli civilians, most ordinary people in Gaza didn't oppose them publicly. That silence, or fear, or complicity led to brutal retaliation. Now who suffers? The kids. Bombs don't discriminate. But the tragedy is, they're paying the price for adults' political choices or indifference.
That's complicated. Not everyone in Gaza supports Hamas. Some are just too afraid.
I know. That's part of the tragedy. When a society doesn't actively protect its future, its children, it ends up destroying itself. Whether through silence or misguided loyalty, the results are the same. The children suffer. It's like building a house on sand and wondering why it collapses.
But having children is instinctual. It's nature. Every species reproduces.
But humans aren't just instinct. We reason, we plan. A tree doesn't get to decide if the soil is poisoned. But we do. If you know you're passing down trauma, poverty, war, or addiction, shouldn't that give you pause?
So you think people should earn the right to be parents?
Not earn, but understand the responsibility. If you plant a seed, you water it, protect it from storms. You don't toss it in the desert and walk away. Yet, that's exactly what too many people do with children.
What about culture, family, legacy? Don't those matter?
Legacy is beautiful if built on something solid. Like when past generations fight for justice, build bridges, invent medicine, that's a legacy worth inheriting. But some kids grow up thinking bridges, roads, democracy, they all just exist. They forget they were earned by sacrifice. That's why in wealthy countries, you see some people advocate opening borders to anyone without conditions. Compassion is good, but allowing strangers into your home while your own children are starving isn't compassion, it's negligence. Again, education matters.
So you're saying a child should be born only if the environment is right?
Ideally, yes, like a flower in good soil. If you bring a child into a battlefield, literal or emotional, they will grow, but twisted. If you raise them in love, stability, with opportunities to learn and grow, they thrive. Kids are beautiful. But even beauty needs care. Otherwise, life turns into a cruel joke.
But isn't that just life? Pain and joy mixed together?
Yes, but we can reduce the pain. Or at least, not create it needlessly. Choosing to have a child should be an act of profound thought, not impulse, not accident, not pressure. There's a quote I once read: "To bring a child into the world is to agree to stand guard over a soul. If you're not ready to guard that soul, don't summon it." In today's world, we face a variety of challenges. Climate change is causing severe disruptions, while developing countries struggle with poverty and political instability. Even in developed nations, social issues like inequality, mental health, and political division remain despite progress in technology and economic growth. Though much of the world lives in a time of relative peace, complexities still shape our reality. Given these challenges, the decision to bring a child into this world raises important questions. Is it fair to bring a child into a life where they may face hardship, suffering, or lack of opportunity? Or does the possibility of love, growth, and happiness make it worthwhile despite the difficulties? We'd love to hear your thoughts on this. Do you think the world today is a place to bring new life into? Share your perspective in the comments below, and make sure to subscribe for more insightful discussions.